joining tonight. I'm very excited because this is our first team call that we have a guest speaker. Well, besides Sarah. Sarah was our first official, but Natalie is a part of Team Dynamite, which is our uplines team. It's kind of crazy, but it's basically our super grandma's team, and Natalie has branched off and created her own mini empire. And I met Natalie 2 years ago at my very first Success Club trip. That was in Walt Disney World. I went with Sarah Try, and at that time I was only a coach for 3 months. I signed up in January and the trip was in March. So I was a brand new coach when I met Natalie, and I had sort of no idea what I was getting myself into. A lot of you guys are new too, so you can kind of relate to that new feeling of being kind of unsure of where this journey can truly take you. And Natalie really probably didn't even realize until yesterday how big of a role she sort of played in my business and the way I view challenge packs, because you guys know when you make Success Club, that's one step that you're doing consistently that proves that you're working the business, right? And when I first signed up as a coach, I was kind of like, people are, I'm getting a lot of objections to getting Shakeology with the program, right? Like I just couldn't make the connection, and it was always a struggle for me at first of why was it important to get a challenge pack over just a program. And we were standing in line at on a ride, and Natalie just goes, yeah, I just say you bundle it up, like so casually. But the fact that she said I just bundle it up was like mind-blowing for me, and I still to this day explain challenge packs that way. So I've always had I've always looked at Natalie a certain way because she gave me that it was just one of those powerful messages that you kind of don't often hear, and we both have the crazy curly hair, and she's always been my favorite girlfriend. And after talking to a lot of you guys one-on-one and hearing a lot of your struggles, I just kind of wanted you guys to hear it from like an outside point of view, the time management of this business, how you can balance your life, whether you have a full-time job or you have, a mom, whether you're, have a house and you just have life, right? Life is just happening. So sometimes it can be hard to balance it all. So that's just kind of something that Natalie's going to touch on. If some of you guys have seen her lovely list of amazing credentials, I guess, right? She will be 2-star qualifying tomorrow. Yeah. So exciting. A 28, 29. 29, well, 30 as of last month. 30 consecutive months.
That's
all-star legend. And she is a mom of 5.
Yeah.
2 sets of twins, and then a singleton, right? We call them?
Yeah. Only moms of multiples use the word singleton. Otherwise, it's just like I have a kid, right?
I have a kid, yeah. But 2 sets of twins. And you still kind of handle it all. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And remember, guys, if you have any questions, write them down and make sure you have a notepad because Natalie's amazing. And I'm very excited for her to
I don't know about all that. So thank you so much for putting me on the call and the sweet little credential list. It's always nice to look at that and be like, oh, I kind of rock. But just a little bit about me. I started with Team Beachbody knowing I was starting with Team Beachbody. Actually went to a Turbo Kick class and I fell in love. And then I went and got certified. And the person that certified me was Angie Green. If you are a teacher, you see her in a lot of the videos. So she's my upline coach. So she certified me and she just kind of casually kept in touch, sending me emails here and there because I am a military spouse. And she has a lot of military friends. So we used to stay at the base where they would train before they deployed. So she's like, oh, my friend's getting ready to deploy. They're going over there. And she would just send me random messages. So fast forward a little bit. We moved from California to Washington. And there's this website called Buku where you can buy cheap random stuff from people. Well, I totally scored turbo fire off of somebody that didn't know that they had magic in their hands. Like they had never used it and I got it dirt cheap. And I knew I was leaving my beloved class. So I bought turbo fire and I would occasionally do it here and there. But we moved from California to Washington and we were on a wait list. 7 people in one hotel room for 2 months on a wait list to get our housing. And it was awful and I was depressed, and just moving from 311 days of sunshine to 311 days of rain killed me. And a lot of my meals were handed to me through a window, to the point where, I kid you not, I have 8 Coca-Cola glasses from McDonald's because I upsized. Like that was my lifestyle living inside of the hotel room. So I gained 23 pounds in 1 solid month, which is outrageous, period. But it was really crazy to me because that's how much I gained with my second set of twins, and they were 8'1" and 7'8". So I was like, this is out of hand. And Angie posted on her page, it was just when challenge groups were starting. They hadn't had challenge packs yet. So she posted on her page that I needed to have a program. I needed to have Shakeology. I had no idea what Shakeology was, but I trusted her. I didn't know if I was drinking mud. I didn't look into it. I gave her my credit card information because I couldn't get online. I trusted her with my credit card information. I told my husband, we had like no money because we moved ourselves and the military had to reimburse us. And I told my husband, I need this. He's like, okay. And he supported everything I did. I mean, when I did Circle K diets, Circle K, like the K cereal, whatever, Special K diets, the man bought me cereal. Okay. So he supported every little thing that I did. So he's like, okay, and bought it. And I hated Shakeology for about 4 days because my body was rejecting how healthy it was. It's like when you have that healthy lifestyle and you eat the junk food, your body's like, what are you doing to me? Well, my body was doing that, like, oh, this is nutritious. And I hated it for about 4 days and I was like gagging on it. And my husband was like, it's okay. I don't care about the money. We can toss it out. You don't have to drink it. I said, it has a bottom of the bag. Promise, I'm keeping it. I need it. And so I joined a challenge group, and it was from Thanksgiving to Christmas Day, and it was just to not gain weight over the holidays. And I was like, cool. That's because I got to stop. This is getting out of hand. I ended up losing 9 pounds, and I was a whole pant size, and I was so excited about it that I shared it online, and I tagged her. And she was telling me, she's like, you should be a coach. And I said, psych. I had started at 237 pounds. And by the time I started really talking about it, I was probably 220. And I didn't feel like I was in the position to tell anybody anything. I was so scared of inviting somebody and them telling me that you need a coach. Like, why are you trying to coach me? You need the help. So I just kept tagging her and referring her. And she sent me a list. And it was 17 people long of my friends that had contacted her because of my photo. And she said that you inspire them, you encourage them, you motivate them. They trust you and your opinion. And this is why they're in contact with me. You need to be coaching them. So I became a coach, which was really difficult because when I signed up, we finally got our housing. We had to move in. And then lo and behold, my husband got deployed. So I started coaching. He was deployed. I was moving in. And I think Summit was 3 months away. And everybody's talking about Summit. And I was like, I'm not that kind of coach. Like, I'm not super coach where I have to go to like super coach convention. But Andrea Sims, Andrea, she was like, are you going to go? You should go. And I just made it happen. I barely could afford the babysitter for 5 kids and lodging and all that. But I just had to make it happen because I believed in the products. I believed in what I was doing. And I was like, sure, why not try and see what I can do with this? So Summit was my big game changer because I was just born into poverty. I was on food stamps since the day I was born until I became a coach. I used to have to stand in line for backpacks for my kids when it was time for school. I used to have to stand in line for Thanksgiving dinners. Families used to adopt my family for Christmas. And I remember not having any time in the day, but taking on full-time classes at the college because the financial aid was going to afford me money to buy my kids clothes. So that's a little bit of a background information on me and my coaching story. And every reason I had to not make this work was also the reason I had to make it work. Like I can't make Success Club every month, because even if I make Success Club, I probably can't afford the Shakeology. But I needed to make that work. Like, it was so important to me to get out of the life that I was in, that I was reaching out for something more. Like, I knew I needed the Shakeology. I knew was missing that nutrition, because you don't know what you're missing until you have it, right? You try it and you're just like, oh, I didn't know I wasn't feeling this well. I didn't know I could have more energy. And every time I was like, I don't have time to spend with my kids and to have a job, it just reminded me that I had this opportunity, that I couldn't have that kind of income coming into my house and still be able to raise my children, or afford for anybody to raise them for me, because some people work outside the home, right? And they have to pay for daycare, and paying for daycare for 5 people, it's ridiculous. Like, I would be paying people just for me to leave the house and not really bringing any income in. So I had to make this work, no matter how busy the schedules were, how many kids I had, the fact that my husband was deployed and I didn't know the area. I just had to make it work. And it really came down to time management, right? So one thing that I do and still do is I break down my day in half-hour increments. So, and I have a doc here that I can share with you guys on what that looks like. Let me see. Let me share the screen. This is someone else made it, and I'm like, cool, I don't have to write it down anymore. So the day is broken down into half-hour increments. And what I do is I cross out the non-negotiable hours of the day that I can't get away from. Like, if I am dropping off my kids from 7 to 8:30, I'm blacking it out. I can't get away from it. If, lunchtime is at this time, pickups at this time, all of the things that I just cannot get around, I black them out. And I look and I see what hours of the day I have left and what I can accomplish in those hours of the day. So, you black out the days or the times of the day that you just can't get around. You're feeding the kids, you're dropping them off, you're going to work. Maybe you have your own 9 to 5. Maybe you teach a class, maybe you attend a class. Block out those days, those times of the day. Just black them out and see what's left over in your day. You'll see that there's so much more time in the day than you realize, because if you're not accounting for your day, you really don't know how much time you're spending on something like Instagram. I can be on Instagram until my phone hits my face in the middle of the night. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one to like scroll. Thanks. Should go to bed. No. So you just black out the times of the day that you just can't get around. You have something going on, and look at what you have left. When you see you have a half hour here or an hour there, that's when you really have to activate your power hour, which a lot of people know about it and a lot of people say they're doing it, but they're really not. Your power hour is you don't exist. If you get a text message and someone says, I want to buy 18 challenge packs from you right now, and that wasn't part of your power hour, you don't touch the phone. You don't touch the phone. If part of your power hour was to do, you could use your power hour to get things done around the house or things done in your business. If part of your power hour was like to do your personal development, to check in with your team, to create visual aids for your group page, whatever the case is, you stick to that power hour, you stick to that plan. Facebook is off, cell phone is off. I don't care who wants to buy a challenge pack at 9 o'clock at night. If it's not part of your schedule, it's not happening, because those same people are going to be there when you're done. So why are you going to let them distract you from what you're trying to accomplish to really grow this business? So you have to mark out what times of the day you can't get around, and look and see what you have left. Once I did that, I realized just how many hours I was using on Just Dance with the kids, which I still do, but I have days of the week that we do that. Like, we have Friday movie night, and I know that, my day is shorter on Fridays. On Saturday's a laundry day. I know throughout the week that I'm just collecting laundry, and that's something I'm not going to get away from Saturday. Because one thing that I hear a lot from fellow mommy coaches or working coaches is that when you're really on fire with this business, something's being left behind, right? Something's being dropped off, something's not getting done, and you're trying to find a way to balance all of it. And what it comes down to is tracking your time and using it for its purpose, not being distracted by like the doorbell. I don't exist. It doesn't happen for me. If the mailman comes, it doesn't happen. I am focused in my power hour because I have marked out the time of the day that I have available, and I know that I'm going to use it to work this business, right? I'm going to use whatever time I have to effectively work this business. So use, I'm going to come back over here to the screen share. Use this document to kind of, because I'm a pencil to pen girl, there's a lot of websites and apps that can track your information, which I do at the end of the day. But during the day, life happens. And if I've got to move something around, pencil, pen, eraser. I mean, just yesterday morning on the way dropping my kids to school, not in my schedule, I was hit by a car. I was in a car accident at 7:50. That kind of messed with my day, right? So I need to be able to move it around, see what got done, see what got moved to another date, another time, and just track it later. So during the day, I suggest that you use pen to paper and track what's going on. This lovely document, I'll send it over to you. You can print it. They have a website where you can buy the book, but you can print it out. And not only has the like day broken down from 6 a.m. on down to 10:30, and hopefully you guys are not working that late. Hopefully you understand your value and you're not burning yourself at, both ends of the candlestick. There's also a personal to-do list, a work to-do list. It has space for notes at the bottom to journal and brainstorm. It's just the Passion Planner. You can go to passionplanner.com, but I'll also send over this doc so you can look at it. One way to use it is just to print it out and then you put it inside of like a manila envelope. A manila folder. You can do 1 to 2 weeks or a month at a time, because when your business is really blowing up, you're going to want to see what it is that you are doing in your day to make that happen. And I love Asana, but Asana is not going to show me that. This will. So I track my day on paper, on pen, and some point in my schedule, right down here somewhere, it says transfer paperwork to computer. And that's when I sit down and I transfer the information over so nothing's left out, any kind of notes that I've made. Like I said, there's a lot of apps where for you to track your day, but I can't be on my phone all the time. I can't do that to my kids. I can't do that to myself. I have to unplug. And so I use pen to paper. And so when I'm doing that power hour and something comes to mind, I don't think like, oh, I forgot to email such and such. I'll just put it down in my notes and get back to my power hour. Because we distract ourselves. We look at what we're doing and all of these little brain triggers come off and we're like, oh, I forgot to invite so-and-so. Oh, I should have said something to so-and-so. Oh, I should congratulate this person or that person for what they're doing in the business, right? You got to be focused with your time in order to make this really work for you. I am a 2-star qualifying diamond, and I have to be honest, I probably work the business a lot less than a lot of 2-star diamonds, and I think I'm going to step it up because I really want to be 5-star elite. Our team is going for that. But I probably work the business 2.5 hours a day. That's it. And my downline is now 80 coaches. But it's because I use that 2.5 hours. I fight for it. Every single second is mine. My kids know that when I go like this means mommy's in a bubble. And it's just not, and that randomly happens. For the most part, I try to work the business while they're at school so that I can enjoy all that this business provides, which is time for you to be with your kids and hang out with them or your friends and just have that freedom with your time and freedom with your finances. So I work my business 2.5 hours a day. This last couple of weeks, probably like an hour because I've had visitors and things go on with life. But we have those 3 vital behaviors that I just can't get away from. Even if I don't call them the 3 vital behaviors, I call them my non-negotiables or whatever. There's such a big part of this business that I know on my sick days, it's still going to happen. I'm going to be like, I could have pink eye and I would be going like this while reading my personal development or playing it or something like that. It's so important to have your non-negotiables and your 3 vital behaviors. When you're not doing that, everybody sees it. My husband can see when I'm not doing my 3 vital behaviors because my speech is different. The way I talk to him, the way I'm growing and converse with him is different. The way I speak to other people when I post on my page, it shows when I'm not doing personal development. And it shows in my attitude when I'm not doing personal development. It shows in my numbers when I'm not inviting, right? It shows in my before and afters when I'm not being a product of the product. So all of those things are broken down and they're shown. But if you're making them a part of your day, then you're fine with how many hours you have a day. All of us get the same 24, but all of us are fulfilling them different ways. We just have to be honest with whether or not we have time for something. Because I'll say I won't have time for something, but I won't have anything on the DVR because I've watched it all, right? I'm sorry, I've said happy birthday to whoever popped up on my Facebook. I've liked all of these other photos. I've scrolled on Instagram for hours and hours. I mean, there's times in the day, but you need to take a pen and a paper. Or this really cute, I used to have to write it all out, so I'm really happy that we found that. But, and write and block out the times that you don't have available. If you have a bedtime, stick to your bedtime. I used to have messages that would come in at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm over here sending off things for people to buy a challenge pack at 11 o'clock at night. I'm a business. I'm a professional business, and my time should be respected. And the way I present myself, if I'm just somebody that you can get a hold of any time of the day, then who's going to want to do business with me? I'm just running some rinky-dink thing in the middle of the night, right? And who's going to want to be a coach on my team if they see I don't respect business hours? Who's going to want to be a part of that? If they see that, oh, she's available at all times, I can't be a coach, they're 24/7. You're representing yourself in everything that you do. So if you have a bedtime, stick to it, right? If you can't fall asleep, read your personal development until you knock out on Shalene's face, whatever you're reading, I don't know. But stick to your schedule. If this is your bedtime, if this is your wake up time, stick to it. If that is your power hour, set an alarm on your phone. Say, 30 minutes, I'm just going to do this. 10 minutes, I'm just going to do that. I'm just so ridiculous about my power hour and staying within my schedule that my kids have taken on that behavior naturally without me beating them over the head. They know power hour, let's see how much we can accomplish in power hour. And it kind of becomes like a game for them. This is power hour cleanup. We're going to see how much of the house we can clean up in an hour. You have 20 minutes to do this, 20 minutes to do that. However it works for you. Who works full-time besides being a coach? A lot of people, right? Do you find it's hard to get time in to work your business? Yeah. Do you schedule out your day and schedule out that time for your business? Kind of. Or do you see what's left of the day and can I fit it in? Right? Your paycheck's going to reflect that. If it's just let's see if we can make it happen, it's going to reflect that. It's like your workout. It has to be non-negotiable part of the day. I have to get up at 4 a.m. because I like to, personally for me, my non-negotiable is my prayer time. Because I can work out I don't miss a workout. I just don't. But I will miss my personal time with God. And that's very important to me. It's very, very important to me. So I've made it my non-negotiable that you're not allowed to work out unless you've spent time with the big guy. And so I'm I want to work out before my husband goes to work because I want to work out with him. I want to work out before the day starts because I want to get the funk out the way, right? And I have all these other people on my schedule, so I make it you can't have that treat, because I love to work out, I'm sorry. You can't have that treat unless you've finished this non-negotiable. My team knows, don't try and reach me on Facebook. Because I have certain hours that I am on my Gmail, replying to my messages, updating my messages, cleaning out my messages. That's just fixed on my email. So if they're trying to get in touch with me any time of the day, they know that between these hours, you're going to find her on Gmail. If you need me, don't send me a text message. I'm not paying attention to it. I'm focused. Don't send me a Facebook message. I'm focused. So go ahead and set those standards for yourself and your business. Between these hours, I'm not available. I'll have people call and they'll leave a message like, oh, I forgot. It's 5:30 to 6:30. You're hosting a team call. I'll try and get in touch with you later. Bye. They know my schedule. And I've enforced it so well that my team is learning to respect their time. They're not up at 11 o'clock in the morning trying to sell a challenge pack. It's going to be there in the morning. They want to work with you. They want to work with you. I've never tried to buy something from someone, they didn't respond, and it's like, oh, I have to hurry up and find somebody else to do it for me at this hour. It doesn't happen. So respect your time by organizing it and making the most out of it. Does anybody have any questions about how I do my power hour or kind of map out the day or fit in, I don't know, chores or life besides the full-time work? Or does anybody have any questions on that? Because a lot of you guys are working outside the house, which is amazing.
Incredible. Yeah, questions. Just unmute yourself if you guys have any questions.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Okay, so I work Beachbody full time.
Right on.
When do you schedule your chores and stuff? Because I feel like I'm doing something all the time, like house related.
Yeah, right. And then I have 5 kids, so it feels like my house is never gonna be clean anyway. So bump that. But Tuesdays and Thursdays are the restroom. If you come visit me on a Friday, I don't know what you're gonna see. But Tuesdays and Thursdays are the restroom. And we vacuum the vacuum is every night, but that's because a kid does it. And laundry's on Saturdays and dusting's on Tuesday. And I just schedule out those important details. Otherwise, you guys can clean your house every single day.
Yeah, I do.
And it's never going to look like you've cleaned your house every single day. It's not. And one cool thing that comes from being respectful of your time and really managing it is that you get to start outsourcing, right? You get to start outsourcing those type of things. I look at how much time I spend cleaning my living room or cleaning my bathrooms, and I give myself a rate. How much would I pay myself an hour to clean that? I'll have somebody else do it, right? Because that gives me more time for my day. But when you're not available to outsource, you can just pick out days of the week to work on a certain part of the house. I'm sorry, they know if they needed their stuff washed, if they've got a game on Monday, my husband, if your uniform's not clean, buddy, you didn't put it in there on Saturday, dude. What am I gonna do for you? You missed laundry day. It's gotta be that like non-negotiable. It's like Success Club. You miss a point, they don't say, oh, we'll extend it for you. No. Get your laundry in there. You want a clean toilet? Visit me on Tuesday and Thursday. Otherwise, we just pick it up. You're not gonna see your face in the porcelain. But schedule out days of the week, and you guys are all free to message me if you want me to help you one-on-one with that. For me to help any of you makes me a better leader, and I'm all game for that. It's what I'm striving to do. It's to serve my team. So if I can serve you guys in any way, let me know. But you can clean every day. Forget that. I'm sorry. Your house is lived in. And as long as it's not disgusting, go on with your life. Choose a day of the week. Dishes, of course, it's got to be done every day, right? But it's just like meal prepping. You pick a day of the week and you make it a priority. That's when it happens. I pick up the day of the week. That's when laundry gets done. If you put it in there afterwards, you got to wait till the next week. I'm not making any special exceptions for you because I am working so hard to make sure that we can live our life by design. I'm making sure that I have free time with you to enjoy you, not your laundry. And they know that. So you have to have a conversation with your family. Let them know, like, it's almost like making a chore list, putting it up. This is what's taking place on these days. Sorry for you. If your laundry's not in, you're probably going to have to wear your Christmas sweater to your Easter party. Sorry. I hope that helps. Does anybody else have any questions? Everybody's so mute. I'm talking to myself. I'm probably going to look like I'm cross-eyed on your video because I'm looking at all the different faces. Sorry about that.
I know you guys all have something, right? Is there anything? Oh, do I see some movement?
Okay, you might not be able to help me, but I work overnights.
Okay.
And I feel like I miss a huge chunk of opportunity.
Because you work overnight? Because you're sleeping while everybody else is awake, right? Okay, so one thing you can do with that is, what would you do with those hours? Like when you are awake, what are you doing with your time?
Is
it scheduled out?
Huh?
Is it scheduled out? Like what are your hours?
I work from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Okay, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And then you go to sleep right after?
Yeah, and luckily I work at a call center and we're pretty dead during that time, but that's when I do most of my stuff. I plan out what I'm doing, I do my personal development, and I like plan out my posts and stuff like that. It's just I feel like Meredith's pointed out to me before that there's people to talk to. It's just I feel like I'm missing a lot of a bigger chunk of people. Does that make sense?
Okay, you think you're missing out on prospecting?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would do is, are you messaging these people?
Yeah, that's one thing.
Okay, and what time of the day are you messaging them? Are they awake?
Well, there's people that I'll message during like the day when I am awake. So I wake up like 2 or 3, and then I'm up from 2 to 3 to 6 a.m.
Okay.
And then I'll also message people who are online, like it shows that they're online when I'm at work.
Okay, so instead of working off of people that are online, you should be working off of your memory jogger. You should be working off of your list of 100 to 200 people. If you're working off of who's online, that's going to blow, because I hide that I'm online all the time. Like, don't talk to me in power hour right now. Don't talk to me. So what I want you to do is get out your memory jogger and make that unique list of people, and don't discount anyone, because when I started, I was a size 20 and I was like, I'm only going to invite people that are heavier than me. And my list was this big. Right? So don't discount anyone, because I've discounted people because I thought they didn't have any money, or I thought they were in shape, or I thought they didn't want to talk to me. Like my sister-in-law, outlaw, she's not married to my brother anymore, but I messaged her and I prospected her, and she's like, oh, thank God, I didn't know how to start the conversation. I've been trying to join you. And I was like, shut up. I didn't know. I had no idea. But work off of your list instead of who's online. Because if you work off your list, then you can shoot them direct messages. You can take the time to, I don't know, do you have like a script that you use? Like a copy paste? I do. I copy paste everything. I have a script that I copy paste, and it's on the little notepad on my phone. Yeah. Because I'm saying the same information all of the time. So that's going to be your time saver too. Work off of your memory jogger, make that unique list of 100 to 200 people. And as you're adding more people, just add them to your list. But don't work off of who's online. Okay. And when you're messaging them, use the same script. You might have to tweak it. I can send over what I use. I think it's gold because it works for me. But I do say things like awesome and fantastic a lot. So you may need to tweak it so it sounds like you, because the last thing you want to do is send an invite and people think you got hacked, right? Like, some weirdo sent me something, like they think you got hacked. So work off of your memory jogger, make that list, and then you're going to want to copy and paste your invites. And you're like, because there's a 5-step process. Do you guys use the 5-step process, Mare? It's like, do you guys use that? Yeah, okay. So copy and paste your 5-step process. What does it sound like? What is the same things you're saying all the time? I've broken down what I say so much that like the second somebody replies to me, I don't have to like really read it. I kind of skim it. I'm like, copy paste. I ask them if they're, interested in joining my team, or if they're messaging me because they saw something. Next thing I copy paste is, great, awesome, I would love to have you. Do you have any injuries or limitations I should be aware of? what are your short-term and long-term goals? And I copy paste it to them, and then I move on with my life till they reply. What step am I on with there? Oh, copy paste it to them, and just go from there. If you're saying the same things all the time, you've got to work smarter, not harder.
Fair enough.
Right?
That's true.
There's only so many things that you could say in this business when prospecting, when explaining a program. I use 21 Day Fix so much that I have a copy paste on how I explain the program. I have a copy paste on how I explain challenge groups. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's just so silly. I'm just copy paste. And then people get so excited. They're like, oh, thank you for getting back to me so quickly. I'm like, yeah, I want to get you started. Copy paste.
Copy paste.
Do
you
it's
have
the same information.
Can you share those with us?
Yes, definitely. Like I've broken down what the group would look like. I'll read it to you. Let me see.
Get your pens out.
Well, you know what? I'll read it to you and it'll be recorded, and then you guys can track it down there. From there. Track it down there. I don't know why I sound like that. You gotta forgive me. I'm very awkward. Okay, let's see.
It's okay. That's how we are too.
When people ask me, oh, what is your, like, I'll post some, yeah, that's why we get along, real awkward and awesome. So people ask me, oh, can you give me more information on the group? And I say, yeah, I'm going to explain to you how I run the challenge group, because I want to make sure this is something you want to be a part of before we go into any more details. And this is where they get really jazzed. I tell them, we'll meet in a private secret Facebook page. On top of weighing in, we'll be measuring and using weekly photos to track our progress. As your coach, I'm your personal success partner, so I'm there available to you beyond the group page as well. We will share our workout pics, recipes, meals, frustrations, and celebrate each other's victories on a daily basis. Does this sound like something that you would like to participate in? And people go, oh my God, like I would love something like that, right? You want them to be excited about what you have to offer. So before I tell them, like, you know, they'll say, oh, what's the 21 Day Fix? Before I say it's 160. I make sure that they want to be involved with me. Like, this is what I do. And so they'll be like, yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to be a part of that. It's like, great. Because some people don't like having that much accountability. I'm really there for my clients. And so I want to make sure that your personality type can handle that. And they just get more excited about who they're trusting to reach out to, right? And then after that, you know, I'm like, I'd love to get you started. First, we got to figure out what's going to be a good fit for you. So do you have any injuries or limitations that I should be aware of? What are your short-term and your long-term goals? And when they express to you what they are, you draw off of them. You pull out of them. So my short-term goal is I want to feel better. My long-term goal is I want to lose 45 pounds and get down to 130. I'm like, those are some awesome goals. Is 130 a goal weight that you've seen before? Or is this something that you're trying to do for your first time in your life? And they really are just like, have to come into thinking, wow, like this is the first time I'm going to do it. I'm getting excited about it. This person wants to be there. All of this stuff is copy paste. I have the same conversation with so many people every single day. And then when you figure out what works for them in the challenge group, you know, if they're telling you what their goals are, I'll ask them, do you find that working out is more difficult for you, or eating for your goals? Not dieting, not portion control, but eating for your goals, for what you want to accomplish. They're like, well, a little bit of something, or, oh, I could work out every day. I don't know how to eat. And then that gives you an idea of what they're doing. I'm like, okay, since eating's so good for you, I'd love to see like a daily menu for you. I'd like to see what that looks like. And then I can let them know if they're on target based on my 21 Day Fix calculations, or if I see that they're under eating, because a lot of people don't realize they're under eating. A lot of them don't. They have no idea. And they say, you know, based on what you've shared with me, this information, I think this will be the perfect fit for you. I'm going to go ahead and send you a clip. It's very short. Please look at it right away and then message me, and we'll go into more detail about it. And I say that because this might have happened to one of you, because it happened to me. People will get excited by the video and they'll go and purchase the product, and they'll say, oh, I have it. Can I be in your group? And you're like, How about no? No, that's not what I say. But you're disappointed that you missed out on that opportunity, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send over Mare my full copy paste stuff. What you should do is keep one inside of your messages, like email it to yourself or put it in a draft or something, and then keep one of them on the notepad inside of your phone. So wherever you're at, copy paste. Copy paste. If you feel like you need to make more out of your time prospecting, I copy paste all day long. Sometimes I'll change a little bit based on who I'm talking to or the program, but all of it's broken down. Even when I break down the price, which I have to add in now that there's Beachbody On Demand. Yeah, even when I break down the price, I go with all of the things that they are getting and then how much it costs. Do you guys do that when you share your price, or do you just say your challenge pack is $160, pay me now? I used to say that. I used to word vomit on people. I'd be like, okay, give me $205. We'll get started today. Woo! That was just me though. And I'm surprised I got far in the business because I really had to learn tact and approach and posture. But I'll send that over to you guys. Copy and paste your things. If you're saying the same thing every day, copy and paste it. If you're teaching your coaches the same thing all the time, make a video. If you're sharing the same information all the time, make a document. Make it easy on yourself. You know what you're constantly repeating. When you do this, you're respecting your time and you're teaching those that you work with how to respect their time and get organized. Because anybody you work with, they're gonna possibly be your coach. So they're gonna want to see how you handle business. They're gonna remember how you prospected them, how you made them feel, what kind of questions you asked, the fact that you didn't just give them what they wanted right away, but that you found out what they needed and then you supplied them with that. Right? Because we're serving them first. So as far as time management goes, write out your time, block out what you can. Be true to those power hours. Nothing gets in the way. If I'm power houring, my husband comes home from school, he knows about my big picture because I've shared my vision with him. So he is not upset if I have to put my hand up. It's our code for give me a second. I'm doing this. He knows the bigger picture and he can wait that 15 minutes of my power hour to let me know he's going to the store, whatever emergency. If it's not an emergency, he has to share with me. But be respectful of your time. That's how you're going to manage it. You have to manage it. You have to write it down. You have to be in control of your day. What is it? You got to run your day so it doesn't run you. If I can get to 2-star diamond qualifying, and I'm not like Meredith. She's top 200. I'm top 1,400 out of 250,000 plus coaches. And my husband works 14 to 16 hours a day. I have the kids all the time. In December, my mom, surprise, moved in with me. So I have her and my little brother living in my home now too. And so that's a whole lot of wrenches in the schedule, but because I'm true to my power hour and my business and respecting my time, I get it done. Life should not get in the way of that 1 hour. I'm sorry, I had a car accident yesterday, but this was so important to me that I'm here. I'm not bleeding or broken though either. I mean, I have kind of look like Quasimodo in the back, a little bit, but it was so important to me to be on yesterday's call with my team and then today's call with you guys because Meredith talks about you guys so much. She brags on you guys so much that I was like, let me see what these people are all about. No, seriously, I look forward to meeting you guys and seeing you. Is anybody going to Nashville? You have to get there, dude. You have to get there. It is a total game changer. You don't understand. You cannot get any of this information through a Monday call, through a team call, any of that. To be there and experience the culture and just it drives your business in a way you wouldn't even comprehend. You have to get there. You have to get there. Meredith, you have to get them there. So important. Is anybody going to Cancun? Yeah? She's going to Cancun? And you too? Ah! Excited. You're signing to me. You should talk, Mare.
Yeah,
you like
you should.
sign language?
I'm going with Mare.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, passing the torch, because that's what Sarah did with you, right?
Yeah, she brought me. She brought a friend.
I didn't have any friends because believe it or not, I'm a false extrovert. So I didn't make any friends out here in Washington, and I didn't have any friends that were smart enough to be a Beachbody coach and have the freedom to mess around with their schedule or the finances to afford a ticket. So I went to Walt Disney World, had tickets for 2, went by myself. And I was that loser that was like sitting next to the 17-year-old that didn't want to be with their parents on the ride. I was that chick. So I'm glad that she's taking you, and I'll see you there. Does anybody have any other questions for me? Nothing? I can't be that thorough. I'm a little bit drugged up. I know I missed something.
Yeah, you guys have to have something, right?
They gave me Norco, people. I know I've missed something. I'm probably sped talk through all of it. Probably gonna have to watch this video because I talk at 100 and most people listen at 25.
No, you're doing.
So sorry about that. Well, if you think of anything when you
Oh, did you unmute yourself?
Yeah. I have a question. It might just be
Okay.
kind of a little random, but like, do
Okay.
you like daily, do you schedule like yourself, okay, like I'm going to talk to some people today, or I'm going to focus on like writing out my scripts this day, or do you just kind of mush everything up together? Like I'll talk to 5 people today and I'll do this, or do you do it kind of on different days?
So follow-ups are scheduled. Those are scheduled. Those are non-negotiable. If I have to be a person of my word. If they want to work with me and they said to get back in touch with them in 2 days and I forgot about them, like first of all, I probably lost out on a customer, but now they see how I run my business. And that's just all bad. So my follow-ups are scheduled, but as far as how many people I talk to a day, the amount is there. It's not necessarily scheduled. Like I'm going to talk to this person for 15 minutes. That's not necessarily there. I'll have like an hour and it says, start 5 conversations, start, forming 3 people, something like that. But as far as my follow-ups, my husband used to think I was like this angry person because he used to see a bunch of names and FU next to it. And I'm like, it makes me happy. I'm not angry. Those are follow-ups. But my follow-ups, those are scheduled. And I'll tell them like, oh, I work my business between these hours, so I'll message you around then. And then they know that to respect my time. I set the tone with everybody. With everybody. You have to let them know what you're up to and what you're doing. Like, if I'm shutting down my page, I'm like, if you need to get in touch with me, I'm spending time with my family, I'll be back online. I'll let them know. And it teaches everybody to respect your time. It reinforces what you're doing. And then it's setting an example. I have so many people that I don't even work with that notice what I do as far as respecting my time with my kids while working a home business. People that do like wrap parties and stuff like that. And they'll say that they've learned from me. And I'm like, awesome. I don't want to wrap my stomach, but that's great. That's great. I hope you saran wrap your life away. That's awesome. You do it. But everybody will take notice. Just like when you're posting on your page, like everybody's going to notice what you're doing. All of those I get so many different messages. I don't realize what I'm putting out there until people thank me for it. There's people that like, I'll post, like this month, we added 14 coaches, 7 of them in 7 days. And that was bananas. And it was because we had a really cool coach open house. But the people that messaged me to get started in the coach open house, they're always like, oh, I've been following you for 8 months. Oh, I've been on your page for 6 months. And they've never liked or commented anything. But they've seen how consistent I was. So they stuck around and they trusted me. And that's because I was consistent enough to put my postings in a schedule, make them happen, and just keep following that formula. So I'll give you all the stuff that I copy and paste. I'll give you that website where you can use those free printables to write down during the day.
I think Janine had a question too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your name?
So
Okay.
much for giving those copy and paste. I'm excited.
I'm so sad you guys aren't doing that. How are you guys blowing up the like? Imagine if you guys are blowing up the team without your copy paste. Like seriously, Team Takeover is going to blow up because now you're really going to be able to use your time. I'm surprised you guys aren't doing that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I have 6 kids too, so I can totally respect where you're coming from. However, my biggest issue is I'm not always home. Like I'm on the go and I'm a little technology challenged. So
Aren't we all? Technology is a learned skill. I'm telling you, I still can't work an Excel document. And yeah, anytime I make like Canva art or PicMonkey, everybody makes it look so beautiful and Victorian, and mine looks like my kids drew it for me. So we're all a little technology challenged.
But are your kids doing activities after school? Like that's where I really struggled. That's where I'm like, I'm having a hard time finding time after when I'm driving. Like I've been texting and driving and copying.
No. Don't do that. You'll be the lady that hit me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know.
Okay, so what does your schedule look like? Can you sit down and write down the parts of the day that you are on the road or just unavailable? Could you do that?
That's what I'm going to have to do, but I guess.
So do that, and then what I'll do is you can send it over to me, you can send a picture of it, and I'll help you squeeze in some stuff there because you do have a life still.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck on your phone or your computer, but there's got to be either times of the day or days of the week where you have just a little bit of more time where you can push it towards your business. Like there's only one day of a week that I work on my like page. And if I'm commenting, that's when you know I'm live. Other than that, everything's set up. People are like, oh, I thought you were sick. You posted. I'm like, did I? But did I?
I guess I just wanted to know your best tips for the moms that are on the go, like the ones that are at activities.
Yeah. So all of 4 of my kids are in basketball. And then my little brother goes to the middle school. They're in 3 different school districts. And I am taxi driver. So I'm very much on the go. I understand that. So I set an alarm. If I have only 15 minutes to do something, then I'm just laser focused. You just have to make sure that nothing is getting in your way of that 15 minutes. It also kind of controls that behavior that we get with checking our phone every 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. It gets that into check because now we're realizing that we have to be laser focused. I'm telling you, if you've done a Beachbody workout, you know how much you can do in 15 minutes. Like Shanti can make you do a whole bunch of stuff for 20 seconds, right? So if you just have that 15 minutes, you just have to make it work for you. Because I'm sorry, I live in a car too. Sometimes I don't get out of the car. Sometimes I sit in the car and do my business there. Like I'll have meetings with my one-on-ones with my coaches, and they'll see that I'm still sitting in the garage. And that's because I know in 30 minutes, I'm going to have to go whatever. So I use the little Zoom app on my cell phone. Mm-hmm. I'm saving time. I'm not going to go plug in, sit down, get into the house. No. Come on, let's Zoom right now. Let's do it right now. So my husband calls it my office, but I have office in several places in the house. I've got a little like kind of caboodle caddy thing with my sticky notes and highlighters. But if all you have is that 15 minutes, you could really do a lot with it. I'll work with you one-on-one. I just need to see what your schedule looks like. If, I had to take an honest look at the fact that I was saying I was too busy. And that's not to say that you're that same person, but I had a look and I was like, well, I haven't missed an episode of Pretty Little Liars, have I? And,
honestly do not have time to watch TV.
See, I do. I will stay up to watch it, but I won't stay up to work my business.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you? Like you'll stay up for something else, but you won't stay up for something that's going to benefit you in the long run?
That's the only time of the day where I have for myself is I read personal development.
There you go. And you're doing something for your business there. So make sure that you mark that, as part of your business. I like to put on the top of my sheet, what did I do for my business today? And write down all of those things, big or small, because I like to track what I'm up to, because I like to track my numbers and see if that was something that was helping me be successful or if that was something that was kind of holding me back. Because I've had a lot of duds. I've made trainings. I've spent hours and money on trainings that nobody used. I was like, well, that's a big flop. I learned from that. You know, we have to make our own mistakes. But I want to see your schedule, and we'll figure out what we can do, because there's a lot you can accomplish in 15 minutes. If you're copying and pasting invites, girlfriend, do you know how many people you can invite in that 15 minutes?
I will when I get your info.
Yeah, and then you guys can match it up with the invite process that you use. So you can just, I don't know if you're going to use my words exactly, but you can use my formula. I know Mare has a great invite process. I know you guys. I mean, obviously, you guys are Success Club rock stars that I hear of. You guys are really killing it. So you guys are doing well, but I'm just thinking, like, how bananas is it going to be when you guys start using this copy paste? Like, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm in competition with Mare, but I'm kind of scared what you guys are going to accomplish. Seriously. I thought everybody was doing copy paste. That is like my thing. That is my third thistle. But I'll send that over to you, and I'll send out that thing so you could break down your day for me. And we'll go over it. Anybody, you can reach me on Facebook. But I will give you my email because you'll reach me a lot faster. So my email is mycoachnatalie@gmail.com. And you can just put Team Takeover inside of the subject line so I know who you are and I don't avoid you. Because I am a powerhouse when it comes to doing something efficiently inside of my email. I'm going to look for the things that I have to look for. That's one thing that I do for my challenge groups. I don't know if that's what you do, Meredith. When I announce them, I say, if you're interested, please put spring break in your subject line so that I can look just for those directly. So I had like Better Body Boot Camp that starts on Monday. Everybody had to put Better Body inside of the subject line. I told you guys I was a little loopy. Okay. Anything else for me? I think you guys are just a little anxious to get those copy paste because they're going to change your life.
They are. Everyone's waiting.
Yeah. I will send those over right now, actually.
Thank you.
I'll send those to you guys. And then you guys can ask me whatever questions. Just make sure you keep that in your subject line so I know who you are and so I get to you. Good stuff.
I got distracted. I missed the beginning part of your email. Sorry.
Oh, my coach Natalie.
Okay.
mycoachnatalie@gmail.com.
Thank you.
My page used to be My Coach Natalie, and I changed it to Natalie Davis now that I'm really growing the business part. But I made it My Coach Natalie because I like to brainwash people that I was their coach. And it worked for me. And I had a lot of clients, but then I was like, all the rock stars just have their names. So I wrote to Facebook and said, please, pretty please, can I change my name? And then I changed it to Natalie Davis. But I'll meet random people that have seen me on Instagram or Facebook first. They're like, My Coach Natalie. I'm like, oh my God, this is weird. Yeah. So mycoachnatalie@gmail.com. And then you can send over whatever questions or whatever on there. I'm going to send the information to Meredith, and then she will disperse it to all of you guys. And then if you're watching me ramble on this video later and you have any questions, you can send those over directly, or we could play telephone through Meredith, whatever you want to do. Okie doke.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your call. I'm sorry I tend to ramble, but I feel so blessed to be able to talk to you guys because Meredith talks to me all the time about how amazing you guys are. And so it really.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Sorry. You're back on that.
You're good. You're good. I was just saying thank you for taking the time to get on here and let me ramble off after I saw a couple of you guys laughing, so I hope I was entertaining. But I'll chat with you guys soon. Just send me an email, and I'm going to send that stuff to Meredith right now. And Mare, if you can send me over your Excel.